So back here is the Moon Rocker show. This was converted from a center stage Rock-afire explosion. And as you can see, the characters are different. They are not Bats and Mitzi and Beach Bear, and I can't really remember the names of the characters right now, but we did this show in '85. And this show was sort of, while we were still young and idealistic, this was going to be our offering to the world to tell the world in animatronic form that they're doing the right thing with energy conservation and avoiding nuclear war. Nuclear war was a big threat in '85, much bigger than it is now. There was even a clock that was ticking down. I bet you they still have it. It was telling us how many seconds we have till doomsday. And that clock was right on the edge of doomsday because the Russians were going to blow us off the map and then we were going to blow them off the map. Nobody knew that in '89 the financial crisis of Russia would then end that problem. But we had a message, and it's the Moon Rockers that came back from the year 2085, 100 years into the future, a band that lived inside the moon. That we can't see them because they're inside the moon. And they're inside the moon, and they come back in time. They're actually time travelers, 100 years, to get on MTV, which had just started, and to deliver the message that the world is doing the right thing, and just keep at it.
He was right, there is no life. Oh, no, no, no. It's like you see, it's a great big party. And they're playing all rockin' all songs. So put your toes goes down. And listen, friends. You can do it all night long. Rockers from the sea inside the moon. The moon rockers from the sea inside the moon.
Here are the anti-gravity freedom machines that we took to the convention in 1996, I think it was, the Consumer Electronics Show, and introduced the machine. It had been in development for 15 years at that point, and I showed it off, and I have a good video of that too, I'll have to show you. But and everybody thought it was interesting and exciting, but the people who were kind of on the leading edge were starting to use email on the internet. And the internet was really just starting to get known. Even Bill Gates had just figured out what the internet was less than a year before. And he got kind of caught by surprise as well as I did by the internet. It was kind of funny, but anyway, so I brought my anti-gravity freedom machines home and they've been sitting here ever since. But you can see that we left nothing out of this baby, even the gratuitous design curves, just like George Jetson would have wanted. George Jetson, by the way, was a major influence on most of the lives of the kids from the 60s. We're still waiting for flying cars. You'll see that referred to quite a bit by old people that are still waiting for the inventions of George Jetson's age. So there's the anti-gravity freedom machine. It was very easy to use. In fact, no matter what, that was the key of it. That's what the anti-gravity meant. Gravity is the force that holds you down, and the PCs were full of gravity. And so this was the anti-gravity machine. You didn't have to know anything. If you wanted to write a letter to somebody, an instant letter, you just pressed the write a letter button. It was right there. And see, everything was coded. You write a letter, and then it would put a screen on here. You type your letter, and you'd press send letter, and it would put the people on the screen that you could send your letter to. And then you used this pointing device to pick the person off the screen that you want to send it to, and bang, it went out. And you had a little light that would flash to tell you when you had new mail. And if you had mail that you hadn't read, that light would flash. The unsent. Oh, that's the unsent mail. That means a letter hadn't gone out. So new mail is letters you haven't read.
These two characters from another fan that he had some extra characters and I bought them from him. And I didn't have a way to make them run. All they did is what they're doing right now, just sitting there for show, but I wanted to bring them to life. And there was no programmer that I was aware of at the time. So I contacted Aaron Fector, the owner of Creative Engineering, and asked him if he could build me a box to bring my show to life. And he did. And I had a bunch of shows that played off of that. and that's what got it all started with the whole Rock-afire explosion, because that's how I met Aaron, and we just really hit it off good and got to talking, and he made it so I could buy the whole show. The way we built this porch, we had to bring boards in. There's actually a sliding glass door behind that wall that you can't see anymore. We brought board in by board, and we built the main floor frame inside this room. It was just a disaster construction zone in here, and just little bit by little bit, me and a friend of mine, he's real good with construction, and I was really lucky to have a friend like that knew how to do this. And the design was mine and a friend of mine's, and I just really think it went really great. And as far as I know, I have the only front porch in a house that I know of.